All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a proof of install. We're just going to put a very simple, small project together, little program that's going to tie up it's going to use our PLC software, our HMI software, and our PLC SIM software to make sure that they all can work together. That's all we're doing, is just testing the proof of install. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to basically create a new project. Proof of install. Oop, there we go. All right, we're going to put it to the desktop, version 15, and we're going to create. It's thinking, it's unpacking, it's getting everything done. So we're going to do exactly what it says here. Top option is configure a device. So we're going to add a device. And I'm going to pick the 1500. By all means, pick whatever processor you use most or you want to use most. If you've got a 1200 and you're doing work with the hardware using a 1200, then by all means practice with the 1200 in simulation. Then you can do both. You'll understand both the PLC sim and the hardware. If you have live on both, it doesn't really matter. This will work for all. Okay, we're just testing to ensure that all the software works together. That's all our goal is. That the software is installed correctly and all the components are there for the install. So it's thinking, unpacking. All right, so now here we have our processor, right? We go devices and networks. So we have to put in our HMI. So let's go ahead and pick an HMI. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a 12-inch, 1200 comfort. By all means, pick whichever one for the most part that you want to tie in or to use right in your project. It's unpacking. Okay, so now here's what we got to do. Is I got to pick the processor that I wanted to connect to, and there it is via Ethernet. Okay, and we go next. And next, a lot of this stuff, you can come back and adjust all of this later. But right now, again, we're just testing the install, right? We're going, and there's our finish. Okay, let's go back. This is what our finished screen will look like. Go back here. All right, so now what do we have? We have our PNIE network connected to our communication to our PLC and our HMI. That's exactly what we want. Okay, connections up here, right to the HMI. So we're good. This is all good. All right. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to go on to our main block. Again, I cannot reiterate enough that this is just a test of the software. All right. So we're just going to write a tag here and one here. So this is going to test our input and outputs. So we're going to put this as a global input, global memory, Boolean, and that's all we need there. Again here, right click, define tag, global memory, define. Okay, so our software, our program has been written. We're writing one rung only. We're going to compile this and make sure that there's no error with this. And I understand that that's a simple task. It should be no problem, but you never know if you type something incorrectly. So program block was successfully compiled, compiling, finished, no errors, no warnings. Perfect, that's what we want. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go down to our HMI tags, right? Default tag table. We're going to add a tag in for the HMI down here. It's not an internal tag, okay? not an internal tag, PLC1 and PLC tags. All right, start. There we go. And then this one down here, we're going to do motor. Again, PLC1. Oh, we wanted to delete that. I don't know. Put an extra one there. And motor, and done. Okay. So, what we'll do is click somewhere so that takes that, and we'll just come back up to our main block, but then we'll come back just to make sure that it stayed. Right, okay, it appears as though it did. Alright, that looks funny that it's not. There we go, that's what we want. Okay, so we have our HMI tags, we have our PLC tags, we have our PLC rung. Now what we're going to do is we're going to begin to build our HMI screen, right? And come up to screen, add new screen. Okay, there's our screen, nothing fancy. Then we're going to come over here to our toolbox. We're going to take our button and we're going to move our button in. Very simple. Okay, just got to get it. I like mine to be a little bit bigger so I can test this out. I'm going to come out to properties. And in properties, I like to write start. Okay. And again, when you don't see it, what will differentiate between the two will be the color of the button. Okay. Now for me, I want to change this background, so we're just going to come up here and turn that to solid, and we'll click our button and our color here, and I'm going to have it blue when it's not energized. Okay, text white. And then again over here, color. That's our border. Well, we'll just change our border a little bit. That'll be fine. Or we'll leave our border there. That's what I'm saying. All right. Okay. So I think that's it for now. There. Now we're going to add a new animation. That's going to pop up appearance, right? Okay. And animations. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to appearance, and we've got this new appearance box here. Just click this add new animation appearance, and here we're going to go with a 0, and we're going to add a new a 1, and a background color on 0 is going to be blue, which is what it is. Then a background color when it's energized is going to be a green. All right. Okay, that looks good. That looks about. Well, let's give it a name. The motor. Okay. Accept that. All right. Now we're going to go to events. Press. Under press, we're going to add in our function here. And we're going to go all the way down to system functions. We're going to pick set bit. We can find it. There we go. And our tag is going to be start, motor start. Okay, check that. Our release. Going to be our reset bit. It's going to be our start tag. Okay. All right. So now that we have our appearance all set, we have our events, how the push button is going to interact with the PLC. We have the properties set. I think we're ready to go. I think one last thing we need to do is save our project. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to Start Simulation. It's going to ask you if you want to disable all other online interfaces, which you want to say OK. So we see our PNIE to PLC SIM connection to interface. We're going to start our search. There's our processor. We're going to go ahead and load that. And download software to device, download all text and text list. Yep, that's what we want to do. We're going to say, now you can do this a couple of different ways, but we're going to go ahead and say start the module. And there we go. Now what we'll do is come down here and we'll start our HMI simulation as well. And there's our button. Now what we'll do is just come over here. We're going to shrink this down just a little bit. We'll go online. And then we'll come down here so we can monitor our code. All right, so let's pop up our WinCC screen. Okay, so now it appears though everything is working, right? So what we have is we have our PLC, we have our HMI, we have our simulation running here for the PLC, we have the simulation for HMI. Now the only real test is when we push this button here, will that energize this start button and close that contact and energize this motor output, right? So let's test it. And there we go. Now what does this mean? This means that our PLC software, our HMI WinCC software, our PLC sim are all working together and everything is set up and working properly. Now we can actually begin to write a very professional level program. All right? Okay, so until next time, this is Paul with Logics Training.